Hey guys, welcome back. This is your host Phil from underKG.com, and today we're going to take a look on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 or the Redmi Note 5 Pro in some other regions. There's a long story behind that. Let's start with the design. It's pretty clean, neat, well built at the same time. The rear is somewhat not exactly to my taste. There's a dual rear camera right there that resembles of something, and most of the back panel is made out of metal, with top and bottom being exception with plastic finishes to let the signals go through. Also, the phone is 4G plus 4G dual SIM capable, although you have to choose between a microSD card expansion or the secondary SIM card. It can't do both at the same time. Next up is a display, and it's a good one. It's bright enough, it's vibrant with the colors, and you're given an option to tinker around if you don't like the default color or the contrast settings. Performance is another strong suit of the device. The base model you see right now comes with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage, and for the chipset they all have Snapdragon 636 octa-core processor. And after killing all the apps, launching an app, closing that, launching another one, closing that, launching another new one, closing them, and switching between the apps is really fast. It's like a breeze. The GPU inside the chipset isn't specifically a good one, so if you want to play 3D games, then you'll have to deal with some of the graphic options and degradings. The software it runs is obviously MIUI 9.5 based on Android 8.1 Oreo. And MIUI has gone a long way. The software is clean, interface is pretty straightforward, the overall icon design, color scheme, and theme are way better than they were a few years ago. It even gives you a little animated motion when you close the app. Same goes with the themes. One interesting option they added is full screen gestures like you've seen from the iPhone X or the Blackberries. So you can swipe from the bottom to close the app and swipe and hold to launch the multitasking switcher, and swipe from either left or right side of the corner to press back button. While it's really handy, it kind of clashes with the default Android action of swiping the menu from the side. To avoid that, you have to start swiping from somewhat higher of the natural finger position. That was a bit annoying, so I ended up disabling the entire feature. Other than that, it doesn't have fingerprint reader gesture where you swipe to pull down the notification bar, and the app notification icons on the status bar isn't what the app sent, it's the app launcher icon. Those are the only things that I didn't like about the system. If you got a pair of the wired headphones, you can connect to the port on the bottom, moved from the top on the Redmi 5 Plus. The output is nice and clean, and it's got an equalizer built in. The speaker on the bottom is a mono one, but it still sounds pretty good. Now the camera is another interesting part. It's got f1.9 dual phase detection autofocus lens, and it performs pretty nicely under a broad daylight. However, while the low lighting photos were better than my expectation, they quickly lost the colors. Simply put, under poorly lit condition, the photos look a little dead, so to say. As advertised, there is a portrait mode, and it works pretty nicely, not spectacular, it works, but keep in mind that the secondary sensor is only 5 megapixels, therefore sacrifices some details with the portrait photos. And it's got 13 megapixels of front-facing camera with built-in LED flash. The photos are pretty good, and it also has the portrait mode. Now, only thing left to talk about is the battery life of the 4000 milliamp of cell built in. It's amazing. The screen on time lasts up to 9 hours, sometimes even longer than that. I'm always on the LTE connection, so if you're on Wi-Fi more often, then you're gonna get even longer battery lifespan than I did. When you're even done with that, you can charge through the micro USB port on the bottom. It's not USB Type-C, but it does support Qualcomm Quick Charge, and it's gonna take around 2 hours and 10 minutes to fully charge the battery up. And now here we go with the conclusion. The Xiaomi Redmi Note 5 is simply put amazing. Officially, Xiaomi sells this around $10.99 Chinese yuan. That's around $170 US. Of course, you'll have to pay for the shipping fee and taxes, but still, this is a steal at that price. It's got a nice screen, pretty good camera, okay speaker, and good performance, insane battery life, and I forgot there's an infrared port so you can use it as a remote controller. If you want even higher spec, the maximum RAM and storage configuration costs still under $300 US. As long as you're not aiming for a flagship level camera or a flagship level performance with the chipsets like Snapdragon 845, you're gonna love this. This is probably one of the best budget phones that you can get under $200 US. So that was Xiaomi Redmi Note 5. Obviously, as you can see, I loved it. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. You can always meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. We'll see you guys later. Ciao.